This episode of The Life of Bryony is sponsored by Asda, with thousands of prices rolling back across the store and online. That's good, honest value. That's Asda price. This week on The Life of You, are you dreading the juggle of the summer holidays? I know I am. Psychotherapist Nicola Jane Hobbs is here to help us all navigate through the slog that lies ahead. Plus, what happens when we base all our self-esteem on our productivity?
Ask for help, even if it feels really vulnerable. Reach out to people in small ways because none of us can relax on our own.
Our resident relaxed woman is here to answer your questions right after this. Nicola, I work full-time in a demanding job, have 5-year-old twin girls, and I'm staring at my first 6 weeks in the summer where I have to juggle kids' clubs and demanding deadlines. I'm terrified of quite simply breaking down, and the holidays haven't even started. I know I'm not the first woman in this position, but how do I prepare myself for it?
Oh, with a lot of compassion, I think. So I'm a twin. And
Are you?
Yeah. So my mum would have had to deal with this a lot. And I know that she would get a lot of help. So I think ask for help, even if it feels really vulnerable, reach out to people in small ways because none of us can relax on our own. We need a community. We need a village around us. And then focus on finding ways that you can relax with your family. So it might be instead of at the weekends taking the kids to stuff like farms or things like that, it's finding what you want to do, whether it's taking them for a picnic where it's low sensory stress and really nice environments that you're going to enjoy at the same time. So remembering that this is your summer holiday as much as it is theirs.
Yeah. Also, I mean, she doesn't mention a partner, but there may be one that I'm assuming there might be one there. If there is one there, like what are they going to do?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's having really open conversations with our partners about the mental load, about the to-do list, about the emotional labour and the household chores so that they get redistributed more evenly because even as more women enter the workforce, we're still doing more than our partners a lot at home. So it's finding ways to have these open conversations and for us to be vulnerable and say, please, can you do the washing up? Please, can you pick the girls up so that we're not feeling like we have to do it all alone? And that can be scary because, you know, I like things done a certain way in my life and my partner will do it differently.
Yeah. The wrong way.
Yeah,
He'll do it the wrong way.
I was just about to say neither of us are right or wrong. But sometimes it is allowing ourselves to let go of a bit of control, which is scary when we've been maybe in situations in our lives where we are the only ones that can hold our lives together. And I always remember when I was doing my research, one of the women I interviewed said, I'm afraid to relax because I'm scared if I take my foot off the gas, my whole life will fall apart. Wow. And I think that's such a shared experience. And so it's almost just testing in very small ways. If I let go of this tiny task, can I trust that person to step up? And it takes courage. And that's what I often think, relaxation takes courage because it's another way of being and it relies us being a little bit dependent on other people in our lives.
Yeah, and that is vulnerable.
Which is scary, yeah.
Gosh. Who knew that relaxing was so like fundamentally radical?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question, and I have a feeling this is another one that is going to be deeply relatable to our Life of Bryony community. Right. Hands up if your house turns into a whirlwind of chaos the minute the kids break up for the summer. Well, same here. But I've got good news. Asda and George have literally everything you need to get summer sorted all in one place. That's something worth celebrating. From family picnic essentials to barbecue faves and summer outfits for those rare but glorious sunny days, Asda and George have got you covered. And with thousands of prices rolling back across the store and online, now is the perfect time to stock up for summer. Whether you're prepping for school holidays or just making sure your cupboards are full, Asda and George are your one-stop shop. Thousands of prices rolling back across the store and online now. That's good, honest value. That's Asda price. Dear Nicola, I've noticed that my self-esteem seems to depend on how productive I am each day. If I don't tick enough off my to-do list, I feel like a failure. How can I start to value myself beyond what I achieve?
Yes, I think so many women can relate to this. Part of it is beginning to notice where we've internalized these rules from and thinking about, okay, this is because I live in a society that values these things. And then I think the other part of it is getting more in touch with our own values. Like, is productivity something you truly value? Is that something you want to be remembered for? And it might be, but for a lot of women, actually, it isn't. So getting in touch with what ultimately matters to us. And then I think in practical terms, it's giving our nervous systems and our brains the experience of relaxing before our to-do list is finished and realizing nothing bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because we want to teach our nervous systems that we're safe and worthy of relaxation.
I can tell people, it's a scientific fact, that nothing bad is going to happen if you don't finish your to-do list, because every day I fail to finish my to-do list.
And I think we all
bad
do.
ever does happen.
And I think that's the thing. Our to-do lists are endless. Like they keep they keep growing even as we tick things off. So I think it can also be a really powerful technique to write a done list so that it kind of closes the loop. And sometimes actually physically writing down our to-do list and knowing that that's what's called containment. That contains our to-do list so we can put it away and then get on with other areas of our lives rather than feeling like there's this open loop that keeps pulling us back, that we need to finish it.
I also think, like, at the end of each day, I try to do this. I do, and it's cheesy, but we love cheese, so it's okay. But a gratitude list, because that is where you kind of find value in things that aren't just achievements. You know, it's like I would put on my gratitude list today the fact I got a free pastry, or, you know, the fact that I made someone laugh, or, you know, or someone made me laugh, you know, and each day you're training your brain to find joy in different things that aren't just, I finished a project.
Yeah. And there is like something quite, you know, we get a dopamine hit when we finish a project, which feels good, but it doesn't last very long.
Right.
So it's not a sustainable sense of joy. Whereas actually, if we allow ourselves to sit and read a book for a little bit or go for a walk without any destination, that has a ripple effect on the rest of our lives. And we realise that actually maybe those things we've got on our to-do list aren't that important or aren't that urgent. And actually there are things that matter more to us. So it's almost disrupting that cycle of I'm only worthy if I do X, Y, Z, or I only deserve to rest if I do X, Y, Z. Why? By doing the opposite, by allowing ourselves to relax, even if there's stuff on our to-do list.
Whoa, I'm literally shuddering just the thought of that. What if I just relaxed before doing the to-do list?
And also normalising guilt. So,
oh no, I'm not ready for that. Hang on, let's talk about this. Sorry, when you say normalising guilt, like going, okay, it's fine that I feel like this.
Yeah, and I think it is really important that if we haven't relaxed for a long time, and society is telling us that it's wrong, of course we're going to feel guilty. But it doesn't necessarily mean we're doing something wrong.
Yes.
It just means we're doing something new.
Right, okay.
And we often feel guilt when we break a rule. And some of these rules are the rules we've internalized from society about what we should be doing with our lives.
But they're not necessarily actual rules.
No. And so if the rule is, I'm only allowed to rest if my to-do list is finished, then of course if we rest before that, then guilt's going to arise. But with time, we learn, actually, I'm not doing anything wrong. We're reteaching our nervous system. We're repatterning our brain wiring that I'm allowed to rest even though my to-do list is finished. And so the guilt begins to dissolve. And I think ultimately, and this sometimes is a path in for women, is if you're going to feel guilty when you relax, and if you're going to feel guilty because you shouted at your kid, which is the better guilt to feel?
Yeah, definitely the guilt for relaxing.
Yeah,
I do think that's true, is that it is, and I think this all comes down to it, is you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
And it's the same as I remember when I first started doing mental health campaigning, and a lot of people would say, oh, but therapy's so self-indulgent. To me, it's selfless.
Yeah.
Because when I have worked on the issues inside me, I'm much more useful to other people.
Yeah.
Thank you to Nicola. My shoulders are, I reckon, about 2 or 3 centimetres lower than they were when I first started recording this episode. Her book, The Relaxed Woman, is out now. And if you've got any tips on how to embrace rest, please will you send them to me on Instagram. It's at Bryony Gordon or at Life of Bryony Pod. And don't forget to hit follow or subscribe. Until then, be kind to yourself. See you next time. This episode of The Life of Bryony is sponsored by Asda, with thousands of prices rolling back across the store and online. That's good, honest value. That's Asda price.